everyone, it's Rachel. So the other video I had filmed before my computer crashed was the stay-at-home book tag. And so I filmed this back in April, planning to release it in May. But I still wanted to do it because it was fun to answer. Especially it was fun for me because I got to talk to my sister and find out what her answers were as I was writing down mine. And it's interesting to see how people who grew up with the same set of books can have different interests as they get older, or different go-to books now. So that was fun. Unfortunately, I have not gotten my sister's permission to share her answers because I did not think to ask before I started filming this again. Here are my answers for the stay-at-home book tag. For one, staying in bed. What is one book you can or have read in one day? And my answer is Dealing with Dragons by Patricia Reed. This is a go-to book for me, especially if I'm feeling down and I just need some comedy. And I think it's a great introduction for anybody into fantasy, especially if you come from a fairy tale background. So number two, snacking, a guilty pleasure book. So for me, that would be a bodice ripper from the Regency era. I actually started getting into these when I was a teenager. I would pick up books at my grandparents' house and start reading. And I'd be surprised. I'd be like, oh my gosh, what? Why is this book here? I was a very naive teenager. Anyway, so I found out besides the sex elements, I really enjoyed the characterization and how people have to work through the problems that typically they contribute to. So that's a guilty pleasure thing for me. They're pretty easy reads, they're quick. Number three, Netflix. What is a series you want to start? Right now, I am not looking to start any series. I am looking to finish series or get further into the series that I am finishing. But if I had to start a series, the series that I'm interested to start would be the Broken Earth series by N.K. Jemisin. That's been on my radar for a while. I've seen a lot of good things said about it, and I am curious to read it, especially because I know it's written in a different style. I think it's written in second person, and that has thrown people off. But yeah, so that is a book. That is a series I would like to start one day. I have recently finished other N.K. Jemisin books, and I do like her writing. 4. Deep Clean, a book that has been on your TBR for ages. And that would be The Wiseman Sphere by Patrick Rothfuss. I actually own this book, and I have not yet read it. Now, to be fair, the third book isn't out yet, so I still feel like I have plenty of time, but I have owned it for a while. Number 5, Animal Crossing, a book you bought solely because of the hype. And that would be The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, which is actually the book I finished recently. But I had read her short story that came out a couple years ago and really liked it. So when this came out and I found out it was based off of that short story, I knew I had to read it. And I saw some other booktubers talking it up, and I was like, okay, let's go ahead and get that read now. So I did. 6. Productivity, a book you learned from or had an impact on you. This is a book that recently really changed my perspective. I do have an in-person book club, and the book for March was Everything is Figure-Outable by Marie Forleo. I'm not sure how that's said. Anyway, this is a very interesting book. The whole premise is, doesn't matter what is going on in your life, you can figure out a way to get what you want, get what you need. And then I started reading it right as the stay-at-home orders came into effect and COVID-19 became big in the States. And it really helped me to just relax and not get stressed out by the situation because I could figure out what I needed to do. It helped me realize I just got to take one step. It's okay. I don't have to deal with everything going on at once. And so, yeah, that is a book that has had a great impact on me recently. Number 7, FaceTime, a book you were gifted. So growing up, my Aunt Susan was a genius for giving me books that I would love, typically for Christmas. And so I actually have 2 for this. One is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. The year she gave me Pride and Prejudice, she gave my sister Emma, and I really liked the Gwyneth Paltrow movie of Emma, so I was kind of irritated. But once I started reading Pride and Prejudice, I was like, oh, no, this is better. I enjoyed this. But the other book that I have on my list that also my Aunt Susan gave me was The Seventh Princess by Nick Sullivan. And it's not a book that I've heard other people talk about, but my husband has read it. And so I think it's awesome that my husband and I have read the same book, especially because we're 6 years apart in age. And 6 years is a lot when you go to look at the teenage times that you're reading. So to have read the same book and to still remember it as adults, we think is awesome. Someday we'd like to be able to share this book with our grandchildren, just because it would be fun to say, this is something we have in common from our childhoods, and you guys should read it. It's about a girl whose homework assignment is to write down a dream, and she's upset because she never remembers her dreams. So going to school on the day that it's due, she falls asleep on the bus. And so that's the starting premise. And I don't want to get too far into or any more details into it, because I'd like you guys just to go look it up and read it, and then have more people who have read it. 8, self-care. What is something you do to take care of yourself? And so this is not a book related thing, but I have been watching on YouTube the old videos of Critical Role. I know they stream once a week on Twitch as well, and I had seen brief clips before, but I went back and looked them up on YouTube to start at the beginning of their season 2 campaign, because I like watching a cosplayer, Ginny D, on YouTube, and she does a Jester roleplay, and so I'm like, okay, who is Jester? And so now I'm binging Critical Role. Okay, so question number 9. What is an upcoming release that you are excited for? And an upcoming release for me is Savage Legion by Matt Wallace. This comes out in May. Right now, I know you can pre-order the ebook. I'm hoping that a print version will be available soon, since I prefer print books. But either way, if that is not, I will get the ebook version, because I really enjoy Matt Wallace's writing. I have read his Sin du Jour novella series, which was adult paranormal. Really enjoyed it, and so I'm curious to see his debut YA epic fantasy series. So everybody should read him, because he's just a lot of fun and he does great characters. So yeah, I've enjoyed everyone else's stay-at-home tags. It's still not too late, because hey, it's summer. If you're a school person, school's out, right? For the most part. So not too late to do the stay-at-home book tag. At least that's my opinion. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.